This is vlog 69. It's Friday, and my last vlog was 68, Wednesday, hump day. I have a couple updates very briefly. Um, Wednesday, I made the update regarding my conspiracy broadcasting network on psychosocial abuse that occurred at Lowe's. Uh, Immediately after that, the afternoon, I had made a video, and then I went to Walmart to pick up some small errands, I believe, after doing something around Walmart. And when I did that, I went in there to the checkout line, and they have this way of abusing you where when you're at the checkout line, specifically the self checkout, they have the red light or the green light, which dictates whether or not you're able to go forward and start checking out by yourself, right? It's an open cashier that you access. And what I noticed was they played the same tactic that they were doing at Lowe's, which was as it's my turn to get in to the next kiosk, cashier kiosk, whether it be to the left side or the right side sections. Okay, what they do is while I'm there, okay, what they do is the second I take my head and I turn it to the left or I look down, the very second they see me do that, and it's always a female cashier that's watching me. Okay, but this time they amped it up even further, and they had a big dude behind me to my right, over my right shoulder, big black, kind of aggressive looking guy with some shades on. And this is part of the psychosocial semantics of humility and intimidation in a social setting. And this was calculated to a point where I did the exact same thing that I did at Lowe's, which I literally, if you were to take a stopwatch and hit stop, that's the way I looked away. Between that time, okay, between that time right there that you've seen, they try to get your attention and say, hey, it's your turn. And they do this. They've been doing this a lot to me, is they're looking in their periphery to see when I turn away. And then what they'll do is they'll use crowd control, crowd influence, crowd humility to set you up. And this guy has no business, talking to me or directing me or anything, but he feels that because he's big, right, in his body habitus, right, he wants to intimidate and play into this public humiliation. This is twice it's happened in the same day, twice it's happened in the same interval of time, where I literally just take my head, and this isn't just, oh, well, people do that like it's just a abstinence. No. This is something that happens almost not every time I go, but anytime I have a period where I have a peace of mind, anytime things are going right for me, anytime that I'm improving on like my recall, or I'm doing something around success, meaning I'm gaining knowledge, I'm gaining finance, I'm having a good day, or even if I'm hitting things on my list, like my checklist, and I'm getting things done, that's when they'll attack. And it's so much so calculated and so patternable that I would call it operant conditioning, okay, is what I would call it. It's the same thing as whenever I start studying and getting ready for an exam, like a certification exam. Right now, I'm getting ready for my boards, critical care, and recertify my boards. I was previously board certified, and I have to go and recertify. And every time I get forward momentum in whatever it is that I'm doing, okay, then that's when they attack. And so Wednesday, they did it twice, back to back. And it goes in these waves, okay? And those waves are always in synchrony with my success, always in synchrony with my growth, always in synchrony with my peace of mind, always in synchrony in keeping tabs and a thumb over me going forward, okay? That's when they attack. Same thing with the following day, which was Thursday, because today is Friday. I decided that I was going to go out and have a quick stint on some winter fishing, But I've been wanting to this year gravitate towards some fishing vlogs, if you will. So I had this camera, Insta360. Okay, it's a 360 action camera. It has 5K, 4K, and 3K. Long story short, I started hooking it up, and I did a firmware update, and I had a brand new SD card in the package still. It was the SD card that they recommended, SD card with the highest specs. It was a V2. It's a 256 gigabyte, brand spanking new, slipped it in there. I noticed that the battery in this action camera is only 2 years old, never used it in the field. It's remained in the box for 2 years. I noticed that the battery wasn't maintaining a charge. It was draining excessively fast. Okay. I get out there to my spot, and I didn't even have it hooked up with Bluetooth or anything yet to any other devices. I just had it sitting there with a fresh battery and everything, but plugged into an external power source, a little supplemental battery box. I get out on the water, and I start doing the connection process, Bluetooth wise, and to my phone. And my phone has the 360 app. Okay. And so the app tells me on top of my Bluetooth connection, I need to turn on my Wi-Fi in order to gain connection to my device. In this case, the X3 is what I'm using. So it tells me that I can't just use Bluetooth. It's notifying me that I have to have a Wi-Fi connection to this thing. I have to use my data, if you will. Thought that was interesting. So I get out there, and I was probably on the water no more than, I want to say, conservatively, an hour and 15 minutes. And my battery went from 78% all the way down to 0, to a point where luckily I brought an extra USB Type-C to power the Android and continue, but it had to remain on the power, which was very strange because even though it was remaining on the power, the duration of the trip, it got all the way back up to 100, and it stayed at 100. So if it was using power that much, it should have never went all the way up to 100 and stayed at 100 on that power source. If it was truly the application software, if you will, of the app, the Insta app, and the Bluetooth connection, and that's what was draining it that fast. If it was draining it that fast within an hour and 15 minutes, then that phone should never have gotten up to 100% on a power source, because the power would be getting extracted at a significant rate. And so what I noticed was very strange. And this is a symptom of when your phone is getting hacked. That's a direct symptom of when your battery goes like that fast. That's a hacked phone. And this battery is only a year and a half years old. I in 2023 is when I changed it over. I think it was the summer of 23 is when I put the brand new battery in there. Okay, always have it, as they say, charged at full, right, to retain the health of the battery. So this isn't a battery issue. This isn't a software issue. This is a hacked issue, because further, I have all of a sudden no service signal popping up that evening. Okay, that evening there was this no service thing popping up for the whole duration of the night for some reason, and I was getting like no bars and all this weird stuff was going on. Okay, wake up this morning, same thing. And then what's strange is I go to start editing it last night. My Insta360 is supposed to have 3 files for every video, and all of them are corrupt. When I repair the file, out of a 3-minute video, like a 3-minute action clip, once I repair the file, which is a front lens, a rear lens, and then a low resolution video to connect them both. Once I get all 3 of those together and I repair it, it comes out as a clip that's only anywhere. I looked at some of them from 7 seconds to maybe 22 seconds. So repairing these 3 to 5 minute clips through their Insta360 app turns those 3 to 5 minute clips into anywhere from 7 to 22 second clips. And it's not guaranteed that it's going to catch the action like the fish that you caught or any type of conversation that I'm having, or any type of education that I'm expressing, right? Or any type of thoughts or any insight. That could be blown out the window. So all of my files are corrupt. And then I spent the whole afternoon today with Insta360 going over all the troubleshooting analytics. None of it works. Okay. Factory reset, reformatting both of the cards, changing the folders, like where I put the folder, and then how many of those repair files I put, anything and everything, right? And she goes, well, this is not common. This is not something that happens, yada, yada, yada. So now I have to do this self-service mailing process. So here I am, brand new camera that hasn't been used, literally out. I got the fresh box, smells fresh. I got all the wrappers in there still. Everything is brand new. And then I noticed that it's still not holding a good charge. From yesterday, the camera's battery drained. It was just sitting there. I had it at 100% when I pulled it off. I woke up this morning, drained. Didn't leave it on, turned it off. So how you go from 100% to drained, just sitting there? That is all indications of being hacked. So I look back at the files, and some of the files that were specific to the fish that I caught, guess what? Just like you seen on the R2 4K, the specific file has been removed. That sounds awfully interesting, doesn't it? Sound like something else I've been talking about? Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's my R2 4K that has Wi-Fi capability. And I told you that it's been hacked. Sounds awfully familiar, doesn't it? When I'm looking for that one specific file because it has something of importance, right? Something specific. Either in this case, I caught a fish or I wanted some action clips specific to what would make a great video. And all of a sudden those are gone. So that's what I'm dealing with. Okay. And last thing I want to say is I'm very thankful that Alabama and my region is in a state of emergency and that there's no fucking vehicles on the road. Because I woke up and I was able to get out in the snow, which, by the way, we haven't had a snow in this region, according to one of the locals that I spoke to, since 1992 or 1993. We haven't had snow like this. So it's a big deal. My animals enjoyed it, and I was able to walk around my property with a peace of mind today because I didn't have any bullshit vehicles passing by me around my fucking house every time I stepped outside the house. I didn't have vehicles timing when I went out my back door. I didn't have vehicles timing when I went out my front door, thank God. So today overall was a great day. I had a great peace of mind, other than the frustrations of going back and forth with Insta360 and the customer support and the technical team, finding out that I have to return a brand new camera. And now I have to go through that process and wait 2 weeks. Okay, 2 weeks. And meanwhile, I'm going to be going on some great, I'm sure, winter trips between those 2 weeks. I won't have any opportunity to record. So that's that. A lot to do between now and Monday when I upload again. This is the Conspiracy Broadcasting Network.